If you want to be successful in Africa, you need to find someone who's been there and done that and has a passion for it. We've got all of that today with Ndudi Chuku from Mission Africa.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
Well, I'm really excited about this because, well, when I go to the website, missionafrica.us, and we're going to have that up on the screen several times, you say this, and so let's just get right into it, if that's okay with you, Ndudi. Opening doors of cultural exchange and obtaining resources to assist underprivileged children and families. Okay, that's an awful lot. What does that mean?
It means that Mission Africa offers people the opportunity to travel to Africa on short-term mission just to experience life in a different culture. That is one part of that. The second part is we believe in looking for resources. When we come here to the United States, we're looking for greener pastures, and we're looking for ways to find resources to help the people we left behind. So Mission Africa is kind of a funnel, you know, that lets those resources flow from the United States to the villages of Africa.
You know, I got to ask you this. That's a beautiful dress and an attire. Is that from your home country?
It is from my home country.
And that home country is?
It's Nigeria. I'm from the Igbo tribe of Nigeria.
Igbo?
Igbo, I-B-O.
Oh, IBO tribe of Nigeria. And what part of Nigeria?
It's in the southeast.
Southeast.
Yes.
Does that attire have a specific name?
No, this is what we wear every day. It's just the different fabrics that have the different names.
But getting back to obtaining resources to assist underprivileged children and families, what is it? What do they need?
Oh, a lot. You know, the needs there are monumental. That is why it's not something one organization like Mission Africa can tackle. We need, you know, a village to help these villages. So, you know, we have most of this poor people we help in the villages. They don't have the basic amenities. They don't have fresh water. Some of them don't have electricity. Some of them don't have medical centers located close to where they live. And some of them don't have, you know, quality education for their children. So these are the people that Mission Africa aims to empower. They need a whole lot from.
So yes, exactly. You talk about this as well on the website. Mission Africa aims to empower children and families in the remote villages of Nigeria, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya by providing support in the 3 core areas of education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation. So before we get into those specific areas, why the remote villages? Don't most of the people live in the cities?
No, everybody who lives in the village, in the city, actually has a village. Most people who live in the villages are people who have retired from the cities, or people who are poor that they cannot keep up with the bills of the city. So a lot of people who don't leave the village at all are people who are not educated or who don't have the opportunity to leave the village. So those are the people that Mission Africa want to serve. And our first 50 students that were awarded Mission Africa scholarships were from my village. And my village is Azarewelu Emekuku in Imo State of Nigeria. I'm sure you can't say those names.
No, I can't.
So we had
But you're going to teach me though, right?
I will try. So we have those 50 students graduate. All of them graduated in 2013. And we picked up another 50. We just take 50 at a time. And the 50 we have now are from my husband's village, Amogweitem, and Ovim in Abia State, because our governor in Imo State kind of declared free education. So we just moved to the next state, which is my husband's state. And the reason why we pick these villages is because we have trusted relations who can help us monitor, you know, the progress of these kids, who can help us with our programs there. We work very closely with the kings of the village and the leadership, you know, the traditional rulers there. So
wow,
it is easy for us to work with the villagers where we know people.
Well, you have said a lot there. First off, you said the governor of the state where your husband comes from, he declared free education. Does that mean that in other places they don't have free public education?
Yes, actually it's the governor of the state where I come from, the Imo State of Nigeria. So yes, I think I might be wrong, but I think that's the only state that has declared free education out of the 36 states of Nigeria. So that is why we decided to go to my husband's state and help the next batch of 50 students.
How much, when you give a scholarship, how much is it?
It costs about $300 a year to provide the school fees. We pay 3 times a year. We run in terms, and we provide school uniforms, we provide school supplies, and we provide books for these kids.
Yeah. How can you make sure that they're staying in school and they're doing well?
Because we work directly. Before we do anything in any village, we do a little bit of advocacy. We pay homage to the king of the village. We recognize the leadership of that village. So we work very closely with the people who know these kids. My husband and I, and my son, we live here. So we need to work with the villagers themselves, because they will tell you these 2 people are poor, but this one is poorer than the other person. Or this child has been out of school for so long. So please, if you can start with this. When we want to recruit 50 students, we might get, 500 applications. I'm not kidding you. So it takes working with the people from that particular village to know who to pick and who to choose. So we do not do anything without working closely with the leadership. They know what their people want. They advocate for their people. They want the best for the people of their communities.
That sounds pretty tough, though, if you have to tell 90% of the students who are wanting an education that you can't pay for it.
Well, Mission Africa is, we're building friends, we're building partnerships. We are believing that in a short time we'll be able to give more than 50. But when we started the scholarship program in 2008, one of the things we decided is we cannot afford to bite more than we can chew. We want to make sure that those kids are provided for, if it means keeping it at 50 for now. But we are hoping that we'll be able to increase that number very soon.
You also talked about you work with the kings of the villages. I've heard of chiefs, and I've heard of kings typically tied to Western Europe, but I've not heard of kings there. What am I missing?
We call them kings because they have a lot of chiefs under them, under their rulership. You can get a chieftaincy title if you maybe bring fresh water to my village, or maybe you bring electricity to my village, or maybe you give scholarships. You can get a chieftaincy title. It's their way of showing appreciation, but it doesn't make you the ruler of that particular tribe or that particular village or that particular clan. Sometimes it's by election, sometimes it's by coming from the royal family. So every culture has a different way of doing it. So we try. Sometimes it's kind of insulting to call a king a chief, because there are so many other chiefs from that particular village. Yes.
So I guess you really do have to know what's happening at the local.
That's right.
So how do you stay in touch? I mean, you live thousands of miles away.
We travel to Nigeria quite often. My husband just came back from a trip, on Friday. So we also communicate with the people there. We have trusted volunteers who help us do the work. We also partner with local organizations there. When we do our programs, we have to have on-the-ground organizations that we work with, because they know how to do these programs. Most of the time what we do is fund these programs and then show up. But we have trusted volunteers who will go from one village school to another, paying our school fees, who will show up and recruit more volunteers for us when we do our free medical outreaches in different remote villages.
Well, we're going to be getting to all of those things, but another way that you communicate is through technology, right? So, I mean, is it true that regardless of even the most remote villages, they still have cell phones?
Oh, yeah. Grandmothers who cannot speak English, they talk on the phone, which is wonderful. It used to be that having a telephone in your house was just for the rich and wealthy. But now it's just a blessing to be able to communicate with your people, no matter where they are.
We started out the show with an introduction of you saying that you are a person who knows what you're doing. So how do you and Ndudi Chuku, how do you know what you're doing?
I just recently became a full-time Executive Director of Mission Africa, but prior to that, until the 21st of January, 2014, I worked at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. There I was just exposed to the passion and the mission of that great foundation. The mission is to give people the opportunity to live a healthy and productive life. And that is the mission that drives us every day. It was just exciting to know that you are helping change the lives of millions of people all over the world just by showing up, at work. It doesn't matter what you do, whether you're typing an email or whether you're making a phone call or whether you're receiving a guest to the foundation. Just the fact that you're part of that foundation means that you are helping give people all over the world that opportunity, that help them make a difference in their lives. So being there helped prepare me, to tackle this next phase of my life. And there we were able to build very strong partnerships and very strong support from the colleagues. As an employee of the Gates Foundation, one of the things that we had as a benefit is the 3-to-1 match. It means that any employee is entitled to $10,000 each year, and any organization that you donate to, the foundation matches it by 3. And so people have no idea how far $40,000 can go in the villages of Africa. So we are doing so much. When I say we, I mean the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. They are doing so much all over the world, and most of them are being captured on the database. But the things that we do through the money that comes from the matching fund might never be captured, but millions of people are being helped because we have, over 1,000 employees, and they are donating to different organizations, and they are changing lives. While I was there, we were able, my colleagues and the support I had there, we were able to offer all these education scholarships. We were able to do these free medical outreaches. At some point, I did a glasses drive, because we did a free medical outreach with
these
focus.
Kinds of glasses?
That's right, with a main focus to eyesight. So we were able to get a lot of glasses, and we were able to provide over 500 pairs of glasses to the villagers, and it changed their lives forever. Wow. So those are the things that, prepares you and makes you keep thinking, I want to do this full time.
So we've talked a little bit about what you do in education. Let's talk about healthcare and poverty alleviation now with Mission Africa. And by the way, again, we're going to be putting the website up on the screen several times throughout the show. It seems to me that education, healthcare, and poverty alleviation all works together. But those are huge things.
They are.
How can you provide for all 3 of those?
Well, the thing is, we just believe that you just do what you can. Our motto is one village at a time. So I'd rather help people from one village than wait until I can help the entire country. So that's what we do. We do free medical outreaches. Like I said before, we fund these programs through local organizations. So they come in, it's set up like a hospital. They come in, they register, they see a general practitioner, they find out what they want. If they need to see an eye doctor, they'll send them to where the eye doctor is, or if they need to see somebody to test their blood sugar and things like that. So, and people are very appreciative because normally people don't go to the hospital. We don't have personal physicians. We don't have yearly checkup. Most times people don't go to the hospital. They are carried to the hospital because they are sick. They are so sick that relations have to take them to the hospital.
You're already carrying water. Now you're carrying people to the doctor as well?
Because they don't have medical centers or hospitals that are very close to where they live. Actually, last year, 2013, Mission Africa was able to acquire a piece of land. And we chose that particular piece of land because it's located between 2 local government areas. And it's made up of a cluster of 18 villages. We have in those two local government areas, one has about 185 people in them, the other 1,000 in them, the other one 145,000 people in them. And they don't have a medical center or hospital located within 10 miles of their homes. So literally people die on their way to the hospital because they can't get to the hospital fast enough. So that is why Mission Africa chose that particular location, because we are looking for partners to help us build a modern hospital there, so to serve these 350 plus people.
We've talked mostly about Nigeria, but you work in other countries too, Tanzania, Uganda, and Kenya, at least for now, and maybe others down the road. Is your theory of your work in the other countries the same as it is Nigeria?
Kind of. Actually, that's what makes Mission Africa unique, because the passion to work in these countries comes from the citizens of that country. My husband and I, like I said, are originally from Nigeria, so we have the passion to help our people. The people we're reaching, the lives we're impacting, they are not numbers. They are people that we know. They are our people. We speak the language. We understand the culture. We know the geographical area. So we know where these needs are critical. So for Tanzania, we have Emil and Regina Kapinga, who are citizens of Tanzania. And they are managing, they incorporated Mission Africa Tanzania, and they are managing our work there. In Uganda, we have Dr. Elizabeth Lule, who is from Uganda. And we all chose not to forget the people that we left behind when we came to the States. In Kenya, we have Simeon and Mercy Karanja. They are citizens of Kenya, and we all want to make sure that we help, even if it's one child at a time or one village at a time. So a lot of people say, why this village, why this country, why not in this country? We want Africans who are here to be able to join forces and be able to help our people, because you hear it over and over again when you leave to come to the States. They tell you, don't forget us, don't forget us. And it's a choice you have to make. We choose not to forget. So that is why we work, and the connection with all these people who manage Mission Africa in these different countries is we all work together at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. In fact, the others are still there. I'm the one that left so that we can focus on doing more for our people. And Mission Africa provides the oversight for all these countries, and we act as a fiscal sponsor.
As a fiscal sponsor?
Yes.
So you basically, so that, what does that mean exactly, a fiscal sponsor in this instance?
It means that the Karanjas, the Kapingas, Dr. Lule, they were all experts in their different fields, and they were employed or recruited by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation as experts in what they do. So they are here on their working visa, and they cannot incorporate a 501c3 organization. But they are also entitled to the $10,000, which when it's matched becomes $40,000. So, and most of them, most adult Africans run two families, because you have to send money to the kids in the village. If you have it, you have to send. We live an extended family relation, system. You have to send money anyway to people in your village who cannot go to school. You have to send money to people in your village who are sick, uncles and aunts, cousins, nieces, nephews. So they're already doing this work, and most of them have already an NGO that is registered in their country.
Forgive me for asking this, but why isn't public education free?
I wish I can answer that question, but I don't know. Most African countries don't have any level of free education. Your parents start paying from the time you get into school. So sometimes you have kids that, or you have students that are as old as 25, 26, they're still struggling to finish high school, because you go when your parents can send you. And
if they can't afford it, then you as a child don't get to go to school, and so then the cycle of poverty just becomes worse and worse and worse.
That's right.
Why are people poor there?
Well, like you said, when people don't have the opportunity, because that's all we're giving them. We're giving them opportunity to come out of generational poverty. When you have an education, my parents were not rich people. We were not poor either. If we were poor, I didn't notice. But they did their best to make sure that all of us had good education. And we are so grateful for that. So when people don't have the basic education, they don't have any means of stepping out of that poverty at all.
You've been working with Mission Africa for some time, and then your past work with the Gates Foundation. I bet you have some success stories, don't you?
I have.
Tell us about some of the people that you and your team have positively helped.
Well, like I said, last year our free medical outreach was focused on eyesight. We gave out a little bit over 500 pairs of glasses. It changed the lives of these villagers forever. It was wonderful. Last year we were also able to purchase the piece of land that I talked about, and we're looking forward to building a modern hospital on that piece of land, and maybe a school too for Mission Africa. Also, we in 2011 we were able, because we ship books to Africa in 40-foot container loads, we were able to equip a library of a school, a high school, and because of that they qualified to be accredited for the nation's high school diploma exam. Yeah. So that was huge. It changed the course of their history forever. But coming to the kids that we serve, we have one named Joy. Joy comes from a polygamous home, and in a polygamous home, sometimes when the wife is not the preferred wife, the children will not be the preferred children. Don't ask me how that works, but it happens. So Joy's mom was not the preferred wife. So for Joy and her other siblings to go through high school and finish, it was a very slim chance. But when she got the Mission Africa scholarship, she finished high school. She's a graduate now, and she has a bright future. We have another one. Her name is Jean. Her parents died when she was very, very little, and she was left with a single young lady as her aunt to take care of her. So for her to go to school or finish was a slim chance, and Mission Africa offered her a scholarship. Now she's a graduate, and she is in nursing school. And we have another one. Her name is Testimony. Testimony's dad died of HIV/AIDS. The mom had cancer and went blind completely. And after 5 months after, the mom died. So Testimony is an 11-year-old. She's the second child of 5. Her older sister was 14 at the time, and she was the primary caregiver for the rest of the family. So they had no hope of going to school. Somebody recommended Testimony, and she is currently one of our students, and she's doing well. In healthcare, we have been able to send people straight to the hospital, because just testing their blood sugar or testing their blood pressure, you find out that they are so sick that they might just drop dead or have a stroke without even knowing it. And because we don't have regular medical checkups, people don't know. They don't know what's going on. So we have made a tremendous impact on the lives of these villagers, and we are very thankful for that.
And I got to ask you this too, because I asked you about your success stories, and we don't, right here on, we don't call them failures. We call them success stories yet to be. So do you have some of those too?
Yes, I have some of those. Like I keep saying over and over, we are looking forward to building a hospital. It is very, very close to our heart. We're very passionate about it, because it just is not acceptable for kids to die from preventable diseases. We have to have a place where they can go and get their immunization. Early detection of cancer is not supposed to be something just for the rich and wealthy. It should be something that people have access to. Mission Africa Hospital will be able to give people medical treatment without waiting for them to register first or pay first, because that is how it works over there. And sometimes people literally die at the reception of the hospital because they are not able to pay, the registration fees. So there's so many things that we're passionate about, but we are really looking forward to this, building this hospital, and we need partners. Another one is the school. All of our students go to public schools, and we make sure they have everything they need to go to school and finish, but we have no control over what they are learning. We have no control over the quality of education they are getting. Some of them, they go through schools without having benches to sit on. Some of them don't have, plumbing in their schools. Some of them don't have roof on their schools. But at least with Mission Africa Scholarship, they go through school and they graduate. When we have our own school, at least we can monitor that. We will make sure that, people are exposed, both the haves and the have-nots are exposed to the same level of quality education. That's, one of the things that we need. Another thing is we want to be able to track the progress of our students. We want to be able to build a robust, data system.
But what do you do if a family needs the child to be home working to help provide food for the family instead of go to school, and you've already given them a scholarship? What do? You say to the family, sorry, that in order to keep the scholarship, he's got to go to school?
Well, the people that we help are already eager. These children are eager to learn. The only reason why they are not in school is because their parents cannot afford to send them to school due to no free education. So we have hundreds of applications just to recruit 50. So the ones that we get, and we work very closely with the leadership of the village, they tell us this one needs it more, this one needs it more. That is how we do our screening, and we pick these kids. So we have never encountered kids who we are forcing to go to school or giving scholarship. What happens is when they get these scholarships, they work extra hard to make sure that they deserve it. We get a copy of their report cards every time.
We only have about a minute and a half left.
Okay.
But the main thing that I wanted to ask you is that 5 years from now, if you were to look back, what do you expect from Mission Africa US?
Well, I expect Mission Africa US to have built enough friends and partnerships, to make sure that the things that we are passionate about and the programs we're running, are going on. I will, see in 5 years we must have an up and running hospital in Nigeria, and probably in some other of the countries where we serve. We want to have an up and running Mission Africa High School. We want to have, like I said, solid partnerships. We want to be able to work with the government of the countries where we serve, and we want to be able to attract professionals, medical professionals, educators to go with us and see how they can help us. We want to do that on a consistent basis. Actually, we have a team that will be going, on a short mission trip in April of this year. We do that every year. So, but in 5 years from now, we will have systems set up, that will be able to grow Mission Africa. We want to attract other Africans who want to help their people, to join the Mission Africa family.
Well, right here, we're looking forward to tracking that with you. Ndudi, thank you very much for being with us. That's been Ndudi Chuku from Mission Africa. If you have questions or if you want to help, go to the website and you'll learn how. Take care.